Hello and welcome to Mad About Sports for yet another live stream. And today we are building up to India versus Pakistan, the ultimate clash, as one would like to say so, the clash of the giants. It was the most awaited contest from the very beginning of the World Cup, and finally it is here. Both the teams leading into this game with 2 wins each, and India obviously want to get that third one, even for same for Pakistan as well. And today we are joined by a special person as well. We've got Sai Prasad joining us for the first time with us with Mad About Sports. Remember, Sai Prasad is an analyst who's worked with Cricket Tracker, One Cricket, and also Kale Kabaddi as an analyst as well. So it's his first time over here. And welcome, Sai, on the show. And obviously, I'm pretty sure I'm pretty excited about this game, isn't it?
Yeah, sure, Abil. Thanks for the introduction. That's really good to know that today we do have a biggest game of the tournament. So let's see how it goes. We'll try to break down into some analysis of the game.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, but as you rightly mentioned, we are pretty pumped up for this game as all Indians are and all cricket fans are. Remember, it's played in Narendra Modi Stadium with almost 1 lakh capacity. But yeah, let's talk about the teams running into this in the match, right? India had a terrific win against Afghanistan, chasing it down in 34 odd overs. On the other end, Pakistan having a record chase against Sri Lanka. You reckon that win against Afghanistan, and especially that Rohit Sharma's knock, especially when your captain leads the mantle, that really boosts your morale of the team. That would have been a decisive factor leading into this game, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. So that's how the strength of the Indian team we have about the top order. And for the Pakistan, the same thing. The both the teams, the majority of their strength is all about top order. So the one who will perform well from the starting overs, they will have a very upper hand in the game.
Absolutely. One thing which I was also very, very keen about was the way in which Rizwan has been batting. Mohammad Rizwan has been one of their go-to players to start off with. How important a factor is he going to be in today's game? Because that 100 which he scored against Sri Lanka, that really was a decisive factor if you look in the larger scheme of things as well. How big a factor it is going to be to tackle him, and whatever we have gotten of the reports, he's been practicing hard against local Chinaman bowlers to tackle the Kuldeep Yadav threat.
Yeah, great. So the thing is, Rizwan is, yeah, that's really true that in terms of middle order, he is one of the great player Pakistan had ever, and the form he currently have, it's very good. So that's the main thing. If he try to take the innings till the end of the game, then for sure Pakistan have a very good chance. But the only thing is, in terms of spinners that we have in the game, so if Rizwan tackle the spinning attack of Indian team, only then he will be able to take the game away from India.
True. I mean, as you guys just saw the stats as well about Rizwan. But yeah, Sai, when we speak about the major of the issue has been major of issue Pakistan's issue has been the top order in this World Cup. They haven't quite done well, but whereas Indian top order has done pretty well. How big a factor it is going to be for Pakistan's top order to step up, and at the same time, India's top order to get going. Remember, Shubman Gill is most likely to play this game. From whatever reports we are getting, Shubman is fit and ready to go as well. And that's why I'll just put the stat up as well, which is right up on your screen. How big a factor it is going to be when you look at both the top orders and Pakistan's top order as well.
Correct. So on the screen, you can see that this is the top order figures of both the teams starting from the August, including the Asia Cup also, right? So from the last couple of months, you can see around 57% of the total runs of Indian team was scored by the top order batters, including number one, two, and three positions. Same thing for Pakistan, which is around 42%. Again, a good number, but very dependent on the top order batter, right? So it will be very decisive that if the top order, the one who will bat first, they have a very big advantage, even though it's a high pressure game. But if you put a total on the board, then it will be
Hmm.
always a pressure game.
Yeah, that's an interesting point that you brought up to bat first or ball first. You reckon, considering what Ahmedabad has offered in the recent past, if you look at IPL or if you look at that first game between England and New Zealand, teams chasing have found it pretty easier in comparison to the teams defending. Primarily because it gets it. Pitch doesn't change a lot. The pitch stays true for throughout the 100 overs of the game. Secondly, there are chance of dew coming in as well. You reckon it won't be a bad idea for the team to lose the toss and also ball first and chase it down in the second innings?
Yeah, absolutely. And you can remember that we do have Shubman Gill today, Hardik Pandya, and Mohammad Shami. They are the franchisee players of this team in terms of IPL, right? So they do have huge amount of experience in the team today. And even though we are batting first, still we do have better batting order, right? So I personally feel the team who will win the toss, they should bat first in order to put a strong total on the board. Because in the second innings, even though dew will come, even though the batting will be easy, but still it is a pressure game. So I personally feel the team should bat first and they can put a strong total on the board.
And because you mentioned that, because remember, Pakistan also just chased down a total. They will be high on morale as well. Prakash says easy win for India. We really hope as a country it's an easy win for India. But let's see how things play out in the next 8 to 9 hours. But to be very fair as to how India would like to go about it, India doesn't mind defending a total. But remember the last game, how India went about it. India were pretty. Oh, I have Antariksh with me. Hi, Antariksh. Hope you're doing great.
Hi,
I mean,
hi.
what yeah, so we were, as we were talking about, I'll just come to Antariksh first up, straight up. I'll shoot a question as you are here. We were just talking about the toss being a factor in today's game, Antariksh. Do you reckon, as Sai also mentioned, in a high pressure game, you would want to bat first, but due being an effect and Pakistan also chasing it, finding it easier to chase it down, they believe that they can chase any total down after the 340 odd chase. Do you think teams winning the toss will have a slight edge of maybe chasing it down? Because you remember, India also chased down quite comfortably against Afghanistan and in a tricky position against Australia as well.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, first of all, thank you so much. But secondly, yeah, I think see a lot of that has to do with the fact that we had two great bowling performances in those two games, right? So the total, I mean, situation would have been completely different if we had to chase like 280 against Australia. Like it was 200, and a partnership of 50, 55, 60 just made it 140 more to get. So that was that. But apart from that, you know what? It's like a two-way street. So like Ahmedabad, the pitch is pretty good. You have 360 on the board. You can still back yourself to actually chase it down. But the second side of that coin is that it can slow down. We know like Indian pitches, they tend to break down after the first innings and stuff like that. So although it'll still be a good batting track, the pace is true. It comes onto your bat well. But that factor, see, because the due factor is not rarely kicked on. It's what, October, and we're not usually having the peak October of India like we do. So the due factor hasn't really come on properly. And if the pitch cracks on, if the ball just starts to slow up a bit, it doesn't even have to grip. And if there's a target of 350, 360, you need to keep going for like in the entirety of 50 overs. So then it can be tricky. So yeah, I mean, as I said, it's a two-way street. It's a two-way street. But one thing's for sure, whoever's going to bat first, they have to put up a big score. So that in itself is almost like a scoreboard pressure in the first innings itself. So yeah, pretty
Absolutely.
tricky.
That's an interesting point which you mentioned. Scoreboard pressure and also the pitch slowing down. Very interesting factor. But Sai, let's go to our matchups, right? Because we've often spoken about the term matchups and Pakistan being one of the strongest bowling attack leading into this World Cup. But if you look at the matchup chart which is up there on the screen, you think India wouldn't have to really worry because they do not have a great matchup against any of the Indian batters, to be very fair. If you look at Hassan Ali versus Virat Kohli for that matter, or even Shadab against Rohit Sharma, the strike rate over there in that column is pretty high. And Hardik Pandya has really performed well against Pakistan as well. So that's not going to be a major factor for India today, isn't it? Considering, Shaheen is there, Hassan Ali and Haris Rauf aren't genuinely the most feared bowlers in Indian camp in comparison to what a Shaheen and Naseem would have been in if you have to talk about it.
Yeah, yeah. So on the screen, as you can see that in terms of Indian batters, they do have strong numbers against Pakistani bowlers, right? But yeah, those numbers are kind of a past number because these two teams hardly play in the tournaments, right? Um, they hardly play every year, so they play only in the tournaments like ICC events. So these numbers are there. The only thing is about the first power play that the team will bat first. They have to survive the first power play. Mainly for India, it is more important to survive the first power play because bowlers like um, Shaheen and Hassan Ali, they can change the game in the first over itself, like that happened in the first game against Australia, right? So if we can survive the first 10 overs, then these numbers won't be that much of a big factor.
Absolutely, that's a good point. Anthony, it's coming to you as well. If you look at the stat on the face of it, you can really see how possibly Indian batters have dominated Pakistani bowlers to a large extent. If you look at the 2019 World Cup as well, The likes of Shadab, likes of Hassan Ali, they all tied for a lot of runs. And Rohit Sharma's last World Cup knock against Pakistan was at 140. And here he's coming off a blazing 100 which he scored. Isn't the decisive factor once again is going to be Rohit Sharma with that start which he's going to give?
Yeah,
Yes,
absolutely.
absolutely.
And we discussed that in the last game, right? Able that with Shubman Gill, with uncertainty over him, and even when he returns, if he returns, whenever he does, it's gonna be like, all right, like, is he the Shubman Gill that left, like that got bitten by that mosquito? Is he that Shubman Gill, or like, because obviously it takes a toll on your body, you have to get back into match sharpness, fitness, form, everything, and it's the World Cup to top it all off. So Rohit Sharma becomes so important, and we've seen, like, I don't know, we've sort of seen this trend for the past, 4, 5, 6 games that we've seen Rohit Sharma score big, that he's going fast. Like he's not playing that classic Rohit Sharma innings wherein
Yeah.
he'll hover around the 80 strike rate mark, and then maybe when he's faced 70, 80, 90 balls, he'll try to then kick on from there.
Hmm.
It's almost
Hmm.
like, I think he has tried to evolve his game. All the people are
Yeah.
saying, right, coming to the periphery of his career, this and that, but he knows now, the modern trend seems to be, scoring a chunk of your runs, bulk of your runs in the first 10
Yeah.
overs. And he, for sure, he's one of those players, right? He just picks up the ball. He doesn't smash it. He just like sort of parries the ball away. So he's doing that pretty well with utilizing the restriction, which is only two fielders outside the circle. So I'm pretty happy. I'm pretty happy with this bat flow, the way his player is playing. So hopefully, just those in swingers don't trouble him much today. Let's hope for
Yeah.
that.
Truly. But that's why we're going to be talking about the major factors in that side, about the Indian spin challenge. Would you go in with an Ashwin, Kuldeep, and a Jadeja, or would you like to play a Shardul Thakur and Namreen? I know it's been the most debated and talked about topic of this World Cup. Leading into the World Cup first match, on a turning surface, you saw Ashwin. In Delhi, you saw Shardul. In today's game against Pakistan, who do you give that edge to? For me, I think Ashwin can be a useful option, but given the fact that in Ahmedabad in limited overs matches, the ball hasn't turned a lot as well. The spinners, you have to be really high quality, like likes of Rashid Khan has done well. Rashid Khan has gone for plenty of runs in that ground, so
Yeah.
it's not an easy ground for spinners. Ahmedabad in the recent past. So would you go in with three seamers versus Hardik, or two or three spinners with Hardik as a third seamer?
Okay, so to be honest, I'll go with Shami, neither Ashwin nor Shardul, because as I said, Ahmedabad is the game, right? So that's why Shardul won't be that much effective because Shami have played here a lot, right? As compared to Shardul. And then we have Shubman, top of the order, and then we have Hardik, right? So these three players, they already have good amount of knowledge about the game, like we have seen in the last game against South Africa and Australia. Kuntanikov was the player of Lucknow, right? And he played extremely well at the home ground of the franchise. So yeah, maybe this will be the factor. I feel Shami should play. Also, in terms of batting, the first six batters of Indian team, they are playing really well. None of the batter is out of form right now. So I'm not concerned about the batting as much. So why not to strengthen the bowling department a bit, right? Using the
Yeah.
players like Shardul, not Shardul in terms of Shami, because Shardul will get more games in the further upcoming games. But Shami, I feel he won't be able to get more games. So that's why I feel Shami should be the player in the playing 11.
Yeah, that's the most adjective term for horses for courses. And Antarish, I think that's not a bad option at all to go in with Shami in this game because
Yeah.
the local boy picked up plethora of wickets in that Ahmedabad ground running in as trouble multiple batsmen in IPL. And he is their go-to ball. If you look at his last two seasons, especially last season where they played in Ahmedabad, he has been a spearhead. The ball tends to move around quite a bit under lights in Ahmedabad. And Shami has been there picking up wickets, breaking teams' backs in the power play. And if we can do that today, I think India will win this match.
Absolutely, and that's the only catch here. No, that I think there are two questions. Like, the first question is, what balance do you want to go with? So that's the either the Shami or the Shardul or Ashwin question. And then the second question is, all right, if Shardul and Ashwin, then who amongst them? So as Sai said, that he prefers it to be Shami, and for very good reason. So, because it's his, you can call it his home ground, and we've seen, like, he's a wicket taker, at least at this ground as well. While everyone goes for a plenty, he tends to sort of dump it down and actually take wickets. So that's that. But I am just not so sure of our batting, especially against, I don't know, Pakistan. I mean, I get it. Yeah, we scored here and there, but Jadeja coming in at 7, Hardik at 6. It's like we're 3 wickets down, and I'm already, I'm like, all right, if we lose another here, it's like, even if it's the 35th, 36th, 38th, 40th over, and we've
Hmm.
lost 4, we only have Jadeja to come after that, and we want some finishing in the last 10 overs. And the way Jadeja has been playing, it doesn't fill me up with. See, it's not that Shardul would come in and he'd change the whole course. It's not that, but it's already, for me, we're suffering from the fact that not many of our batsmen can bowl, like pure batsmen, not as all rounders. So to be going in that sort of deep with your bowling, then it could possibly, because see, at Ahmedabad, all right, you would expect 350, 380. So if you play Shami, it will really have to pay off, and the opposition should be restricted under 3-3-10. Because if they don't, then like what's the point? Like you're just like, they've scored 340. Well, anyways, they should have, right? So even
Yeah.
even with the bowling attack we have right now, we'd expect 330, 340 to be max, if at all we bowl first. So if we bring in Shami, we'd be like, what? So we need to restrict them to 90 so yeah, again, that's a risk is to reward wala ratio scenario that we have to weigh up. But fair shout for Shami. But I just think Shardul's gonna make it, and with his golden arm, he might get the wicket of Babar Azam on the poorest of deliveries like he'll ever bowl. So that's Shardul Thakur for you, but he gets those wickets nonetheless. So yeah,
Yeah, it's just a psychological advantage, as
yeah,
Antariksh rightly mentioned. It's not more like Shardul has been exemplary with the bat for India, scoring a lot of runs, but it's just a
yeah,
psychological advantage. Seeing Shami at 8 and Shardul at 8, it just gives you
yeah,
a little bit of benefit. Okay, there is Shardul, maybe he can score a quick fire 20, 30. And at times, if on a good day, he can even go on to score big. That we have seen multiple times when India went under pressure in test matches, a couple of times in IPL as well. But so I come into the factor of Pakistani spinners. Is there a chance that Pakistan might go into the four-seamer attack, maybe replacing Nawaz as well? Because if you look at the Pakistani spinners, they've not really had the best of times in the World Cup or leading into the World Cup. Shadab has been, bowling half trackers or bowling way too full. On the other end, Nawaz has been also spraying it here and there. They haven't been more solid. So that 20 overs there has been teams' target to go after them. And that's costed them a lot of games as well leading into this World Cup.
Yeah, absolutely. So on the screen, you can see that this is the stats of all the team spinners, all the World Cup team spinners they have in terms of the strike rate mainly from August, right? And all the teams we have on the screen, you can see Pakistan is at the bottom three, right? Because due to their spinners, the Shadab is the only player who is getting the wickets on a regular basis. But for Nawaz, he hardly get a wicket every game, right? So he have to step up. ODI is not about restricting the runs. It's all about picking up the wickets, right? In T20, we can restrict the runs that can be counted in terms of contribution. But in ODIs, the contribution is all about picking up the wickets, right? So that's the major reason. Shadab can bowl a couple of good deliveries. He can pick up a couple of wickets. But for Nawaz, I personally feel uh, he's not a quite of spinner bowler. I feel he's a medium pace bowler. I personally feel that. So that's why he's not able to get quick wickets. And you can see the strike rate is around 40, right? So which means around 6 to 7 overs they're getting a wicket. After 6 to 7 overs, they're getting a wicket. So it is very bad for a team like Pakistan.
Absolutely. I mean, that also speaks volumes of how they've dropped down as a spinning unit. But
yeah.
I'm just coming to you once again. When we talk about India-Pakistan contest, we have to talk about one player. I mean, it is unfair if we don't talk about him enough. That is Virat Kohli, because he's always been there and thereabouts. He's been the guy who's led the charge. Last match we played against Pakistan in the Asia Cup was there among the runs. Once again, if India lose an early wicket, the ice will be on him to do it for us, isn't it?
Absolutely, the eyes are always on him, and yes, it's a minimum of 5,000 runs, but don't let that stat fool you guys. Virat Kohli has doubled the runs of Babar Azam, so Azam has a lot of consistency to chase. But no, jokes apart, like the averages there are just staggeringly phenomenal. Like we used to think like earlier times, if anyone touches 40, 42, they were like such a great batsman. I remember back in the day it was like only Dhoni who had an average of 49, and that too because of his not outs and his sublime finishes and stuff. But now it's like 56, 57, 58. We're seeing a lot of that. So it's just phenomenal. Two great batsmen. One probably just sealing his legacy. He's already a legend in this folklore of cricket, but just putting in the last nails for 4 5 years or something. And one is just establishing himself as probably the all one of on course to be one of the all time greats, Babar Azam again. So yeah, it's going to be a contest. It's always going to be a contest of these two kings, sultans, whatever you're going to call them, and eyes on them. Eyes on Kohli for us. Eyes on Babar Azam for the Pakistani fans. Let's see how they do. And Virat Kohli historically just is his best self under pressure with Pakistan. Let's hope we are not under pressure for him to perform. Let's hope we don't get to the line of pressure and stuff.
Yeah.
Let's hope he performs before that. And yeah, let's hope Babar Azam doesn't perform. So, yeah.
Because Babar Azam's record against India hasn't been the greatest in its side.
Yeah.
Because if you look at the way he has performed the recent past, average of 28, but whereas Virat Kohli has got average close to 55, 56.
His record
I think
against
that,
Zimbabwe has been nice.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, I often wonder, the numbers don't really speak a lot of stories
Yeah,
as well. Yes, it does, but sometimes it mirrors or it kind of puts a wheel on what it should be.
actually.
If you look at Virat Kohli's average against Pakistan in particular, it's phenomenal. If it's a player versus player contest in a particular game, Virat Kohli wins it like hands down. But because Babar Azam has been accumulating a lot of runs, I don't want to talk
Yeah.
about the oppositions or the teams he's played against. His average is looking good. But Sai, that's the major difference, isn't it? Virat Kohli has always stepped up in big contests, but Babar Azam in this World Cup in particular has not gotten off to a good start. Virat Kohli two back-to-back 50s. He's already up there, and he's looking very good. Virat Kohli.
Correct, correct. So that's the major issue with Pakistan team. Actually, they were not able to face quality opponent from the last couple of months. So that's why the averages and the numbers are very high, right? They had faced quality opponents in the Asia Cup, and we all know the results of it, right? So the main thing about these averages and about these numbers, we have to evaluate it for the proper opposition or kind of a stronger opposition, right? Mainly, we always uh, treat big players for their performance overseas, right? In terms of Sena countries, right? So why not to pick up Sena countries' performance of Babar Azam, and then we'll directly get to know what is the huge difference they have, right? So in terms of coming to the today's match, they do have a chance, right? It's not like we will win the game one-handedly or single-handedly. It won't be like that. They will fight back because they just made highest chase in their career of the whole Pakistani ODI career, right? So they do have a chance, great chance. The only thing I am worried about is about the spinning attack of Pakistanis because they don't have a chance to even compete with our spinners, to be honest. In terms of batting order, especially for Babar, because Fakar is not here, right? Imam don't know about his form. The only player in the top order is Shafiq. If he performs, only then it will be a delight for the other players to come and hit big runs, right? Because Iftikhar will come at the lower order, so he won't be having that much of chances to make the runs. And then Rizwan is there. So they do have only two or three players on which they are more dependent, right? And again,
Hmm.
today I feel Babar won't be that much effective because his records against Indian pacers is very bad, right? For spinners, yeah, he do have a chance because it is an Asian country, so they do have quality players to play the spin. But in terms of the pacers, the first 10 overs, as I said, the first 10 overs will be very crucial. And then at the end of first 10 overs, we'll get to know who is going to win the game.
Absolutely. I mean, Antariksh, if you have just talk about that very facet which you brought in as well, in Asian conditions, spin attack will be a major factor, and we did speak about how India's spin attack is slightly more profound in comparison to Pakistan. But then matchup as well. Kuldeep Yadav once again, we're not talking about him enough. I think we've spoken about a lot of batters, but let's give credit to Jasprit Bumrah and Kuldeep Yadav, who's been phenomenal in this tournament. I mean, especially Jasprit Bumrah picked up 4 wickets in the last game, three in the match before that. He's already gotten off to a blazing start. If he was a batter, we would have been celebrating him a little bit more. But
Yeah.
unfortunately, we're not talking about him enough. Jasprit Bumrah, once again, how big a factor is he going to be alongside Kuldeep Yadav?
Massive, massive. I mean, Jasprit Bumrah, as we keep saying, he is just, even, of course, Siraj as well, but Jasprit Bumrah has just taken himself to that top notch. We've always wondered after, I don't know, man, like we've had decent fast bowlers up and coming for the last even 10, 15 years and stuff. We've had those RP Singhs, Praveen Kumar, Zahir Khan, especially Zahir Khan, all of them. Very good, very good. But And at the same time, if you say Mitchell Stark, Mitchell Johnson, Shane Bond, Trent Bolt, all of James Anderson, Broad, and stuff like that. So it's like always the top curry that we wanted to reach there. And finally, we've had someone who is the top curry. Like, I am him, Wala cheez hota hai. He's the list now. And same with Siraj, the way he has transformed himself in all formats of the game. He's almost become the length bowler. Like he doesn't care about the format. He sticks to his line and length. He prides on it. He thrives on it, and he one of the best things about our bowling attack is, and I really like it, that we're not much dependent on variations. That's the thing. We're not much dependent on the pitch we play in. We are hit the deck fast kind of bowlers. Whatever deck, if there is variable bounce, we hit the deck. That helps us. If there is good bounce, we hit the deck. It helps us. If the ball is traveling, we hit the deck. It helps us. So I really like that. I really like the fact that we can swing it 140 kilometers per hour. It's not either swing it 125 or no swing at 140. It's like the best of both worlds a bit.
Yeah.
And if you talk about the spinner Kuldeep Yadav, as we've mentioned him, like not in this video much, but earlier, that China man wala philosophy is so pivotal. Like, people are actually scared to take him on because it's he's not even a leg spinner anymore. If you look at his, he almost bowls like more than 1/4 of his balls is googly, right? So that it's like his bowling now. He's a Chinaman, like in its truest sense. So it's his 10 overs in the middle, along with the 20 from the two pacers. They just choke runs pretty bad. So
Yeah,
I
just an
just I,
update there, Antariksh. India bowling first against Pakistan after winning the toss.
okay.
So
So India has chosen to ball first. What's the lineup and stuff?
that's not out yet. The toss is just done.
Okay, right. So
Interesting.
fair. Yeah, we'll get updates on that. But yeah, I mean, again, these two bowlers in particular have been absolutely phenomenal, and yeah, hopefully they do tune up today as well.
True. Sai, I mean, we did speak about bowling first earlier. So before we end the live, what will be the ideal total to restrict Pakistan from here on? Looks like a very good deck. What is an ideal
Okay.
total to restrict Pakistan, and what will India be comfortable chasing it down?
Okay. So actually, it is a batting track. So even though we try to restrict them as much as possible, they will cross 300 for sure. Okay. If we are targeting below 300, then it will be a win situation for us. Okay. So if it is beyond 300, then for sure they have performed really well. If it is beyond 300, means a couple of players have good amount of 50s or some of them have a great 100, right? So that can be possible. But I don't know why I feel that today a collapse is coming of Pakistan's batting order. Okay, they are collapsing. And the lower order, which is Shadab or maybe Iftikhar or Sauchakil, if possible,
Yeah,
they will be the turning orders for the Pakistan team. And if Pakar is playing today, he have good stats about Ashwin and Jadeja. Maybe today the team will go with Shardul or Ashwin. If they are they want to bring something
yeah.
surprisingly, then they can bring Shami for sure. But
Hmm.
if you can quickly have a look about the lineups, then do we have Fakar in the 11?
I think we have one change. That is Shubman is back for Ishan, and that's a major change. And obviously, Shubman in Ahmedabad is a must. Even if he's having dengue, I think you just have to put him on the pitch just because he's playing in Ahmedabad. You like to carry that pitch everywhere in the world, possibly. And that's about it from us, guys. I know we are very close to the match, and everyone's pretty excited about it. So thank you, Antarix. Thank you, Sai, for joining us for the first time as well. It was a pleasure taking all your questions and taking all the answers as well from everyone. Do not forget to subscribe to our channel if you're new here, and also click the like button. We'll be back very soon talking about more of these games, because remember, it's just the start of the World Cup. We got a lot of games to go even now, and we're not even 1/4 there. And we are waiting for a cracker of a match from India versus Pakistan. And also, do not forget to check out our course with Mad About Sports. If you are an aspiring analyst who want to be there in the dugouts, taking all the shots, creating new strategies, there's your opportunity to check it out with Mad About Sports. Take care and see you all. Stay safe. Bye bye.